Welcome back. All right, so Sunday we've got a game starting at noon Eastern, which is 9 a.m. my time. So I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to do a preview 4 hours before that. Yeah. So I'm going to do that tonight, and I'm going to throw it in with the news because there's only two games on tomorrow. So there you go. Jimmy Howard is set to retire. According to Elliot Friedman, the Edmonton Oilers, Ken Holland reached out, and Jimmy Howard said, "I'm enjoying time with my family." Basically decided to just retire rather than come back and play. I'm surprised there aren't more players that have said it, but respect to Jimmy Howard for that long career. So, of course, I have the Detroit logo there because to me, he's still a Red Wing. I know he's a unrestricted free agent, but kudos on a solid career to Jimmy Howard. Now, this came out today, too, that Jared McCann gets a $10,000 fine from the NHL for the incident last night on Travis Sanheim. And of course, people are upset because it should have been more, it should have been less, it should have been 20 games, 15 games, 10 games. Yeah. Anyways, so that gets people all riled up. I stay out of it. I've done a good job so far of staying out of it. We're 4 days into the season, and I'm staying as far out of it as possible. I'll report on it. That's as far as I'm going. And apparently, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Jim Rutherford, they're interested in Jack Roslovic. The slow start for Pittsburgh. Jim Rutherford knows he has to shake things up. Of course, he's a restricted free agent. Wants out of Winnipeg, does not want to sign in Winnipeg. So it may very well be a situation where they work out something. Rutherford works out a contract with them, and then the trade takes place. So we'll see what happens. But Roslovic, apparently, Pittsburgh could be where he lands, but there's probably going to be multiple suitors once we get into the season, and there's some other slow starts going on as well. Philly, Sean Couturier, of course, is going to be out a minimum of 2 weeks with a rib injury. So ribs, that can be a tricky injury. So 2 week minimum is what it's being portrayed as, and we'll see how it goes for him. But hopefully, he's out as short a period of time as possible. That's a huge loss for Philadelphia. He is one of the best two-way forwards in the game right now. So losing him for 2+ weeks is definitely problematic for the Philadelphia Flyers. So the Oilers, coming back to the Jimmy Howard discussion, where Ken Holland did reach out to Jimmy Howard, which I mentioned in a news video earlier today, just because that seemed to be the one goalie that was out there that they might be able to get that's considered NHL level, that isn't signed to a contract. But while they've got Rodriguez coming up and Grosnick that they've picked up on waivers from LA, both of them are going through the quarantine process, so they will not be available to the Oilers for a while. So the Oilers are looking for a stopgap to bring in, and they're looking for somebody that doesn't need to go through quarantine that can jump right onto their roster, and it's been problematic for them. And as if you watch the Oilers game tonight, you know Koskinen is going to get overworked behind that defense and probably shouldn't be playing every single game. And there's no word on how long Smith's going to be out. We know he's on LTIR, so it's minimum of 10 games he has to miss, or a certain amount of days. I think it's 25, 30 days. It's a while, right? So, yeah, see what happens with the Oilers. So, tomorrow we got two games, including at noon Eastern, 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific. The 2-0 Washington Capitals in against the 0-2 Pittsburgh Penguins. And Ovechkin, 2 assists so far this year. Crosby, 2 goals. And anytime these guys play against each other, it'll have nationwide broadcasting. And they play each other 8 times this year. So, right? That should be fascinating because we've got a team that has already seen an basically exceptional game from Vanacek here. And then for Pittsburgh, we've seen Jari twice put up kind of mediocre numbers. Maybe we see DeSmith in this one. Did they go back to Jari again? Pittsburgh's already got some issues with this roster. I think this squashed season, we're going to see some very, very interesting records. But Pittsburgh, seeing Washington, I would expect a better game from them tomorrow than we saw in the 2 games against Philadelphia. And then at 7 o'clock Eastern, so there's 7 hours between the start times of these games, 4 o'clock Pacific, we have the 0-2 Chicago Blackhawks in against the debuting Florida Panthers. So Florida debuting on the season because they had the 2 games against Dallas, which have been pushed back, and so their season's starting late. Drieger will also be starting for them in net. Bobrovsky's not in net for them, so we'll see how it goes. I'm wearing a Florida jersey because I feel bad that they haven't played yet. So of the 4 teams that are playing tomorrow, I always pick a team to wear a jersey of that's playing the next day or on that day when I do the preview. So I picked Florida because I feel bad that Dallas kind of hosed them out of those first 2 games of the season, and hopefully it doesn't have negative ramifications. And for Chicago, we'll see if they can pull out a win over Florida. It's going to be a fascinating game. So there you go. Let me know your picks in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.